think about learning, I think about my 3-year-old. I have a 3-year-old daughter who doesn't ever say to herself, I've reached the point where I know this particular thing. It's almost like she just embraces this world with this ongoing sense of evolution and curiosity. And I don't believe that as human beings we can learn about each other, about ourselves, or even about the masterful universe unless we actually have an openness in our hearts to the idea that change is possible, that people can change, that we can change, that society can change. So for me, learning and being open to change are just part and parcel of a way of being in the world. I think that when we do not engage in lifelong learning, we gradually atrophy. And a lot has been said about atrophy of our brains, but I think there's an atrophy of our spirit and our souls and our entire presence. I think that when we open ourselves to lifelong learning, we take up the important space and the important value that we as human beings have on this earth, and we continue to contribute. One of the things that I learned recently, and that I'd known about, but it was a particularly beautiful example, is that human beings are biased to forget things that they don't want to believe. So we believe something, and what we do is we go around the world trying to find data that supports that, and we ignore and forget data that don't support that. One of the things that I learned is that when Charles Darwin was developing his theories of evolution, that he noticed in himself the tendency to forget things that didn't concord with his theory. So what he did is he developed a daily practice of writing down the things that were at odds with his theory. And it was ultimately that writing down and thinking about those things that were at odds and that he noticed he was forgetting that enabled him to develop his theory of evolution in the way that it did. What he was doing is he was recognizing that he was forgetting, and so he engaged in a deliberate practice of noticing what he was forgetting and of questioning that. And this then enabled him to develop his theories. So I thought that was fascinating. You know, if we could all notice the things that we conveniently just brush away or say that's not true and start to dig deeper, I think we learn.